We continue with today's mana system, the martial powers system that we've been working on here for the past, well, shit, this is the 41st episode. So we put in about 80 hours worth of log time on this thing so far. We're going to continue that effort right now by looking at how, hold on real quick, by looking at how, sounds good. Okay, cool. We've been developing the martial powers as sort of we're looking at the different archetypes that barbarians, fighters, and rogues have and see how we can use the different martial powers that we've developed to be able to replace those archetypes as just like general kits. Since characters that are using martial powers can swap out what powers they have every level, you can switch from different archetype to archetype across all three of those classes just by changing the kit of powers that you know. So we're going through that process right now. Give me a hot second here for me to boost my signal. If you follow me on Twitter, I've just posted that I'm live on Twitter, so be welcome to kick it with me there if you got any questions or anything. Beyond that, I'm just going to drop signals here on the different Discords where I like to run and play. DMsGuild Content Lounge, DTRPG, OBS Discord, Terran, Indestructiboys, Designosphere, Durz's Odds, Discord continues to grow. We got Trent Monk's Temple and Dungeoneers Pack. We got Fry Minis. We got Zipperon. These are all guys that I hang out with and listen to on YouTube a lot. Hang out on their Discords here, just talking shop in general. But with all that stuff out of the way, this book cover that we're looking at here, this is the bundle cover that I have. If you check the link down below in the DMsGuild link that I have below, all these books are there for you to look at. You can click on any of them. You can read the entire book cover to cover. It talks about color mana mechanics for using MTG style 5-color mana system in 5e for like Ravnica, Strixhaven, Theros. I use it in my Eberron campaign currently. There's also the Elemental Key book, which converts spells into a 4-elemental paradigm: air, earth, fire, water. That mana mechanic system works as well. So if you want to bend fire, you can just invest into fire magic and then pick up a shitload of disciplines that are fire-based, or you could do like a fire-air combination, blending those elements together with selections of air and fire mana to be able to channel different disciplines of air and fire, logically enough. So they're all straightforward. They're all there for you to look at. All my books, anything I publish is always 100% preview, so that you can look through the quality, you can see the artwork that we're producing here, that you can see all the mechanics to know that the quality is there, and if it's hitting the tone and the flavor that you like or inspires you for your next campaign, consider picking it up. We're still waiting to get monetization here on YouTube. I need 1,000 followers and 4,000 hours worth of content viewed. So if you think any of this stuff is cool, please like, subscribe, share, and just go through the different playlists to see what I've got out there for y'all to take a look at. But for us to take a look at, let me go ahead and drop this down in the background. We've got a window here. We're going to pull out, in the link down below, there's also a link to my Patreon channel, which gives you free access to this open playtest content. Again, we're not, none of this is the final documentation. We haven't even gone through edits yet. This is just a quick skinny of how this stuff works, so you have an idea of how it works. There is 20 levels worth of content here, so you can run an entire campaign using martial powers instead of the standard archetypes that you would have for barbarian, fighter, rogue. And there's also, you can use powers instead of spells for the ranger and the paladin. Warlocks can purchase powers as invocations, but not actual spells. Artificers can't learn them as alternate spells, but they can create items using infusions. They can learn martial powers to infuse into their items. So it remains a martial-centric mana mechanic, and 100 some odd, like 130 some odd powers that expand the spell lists that these classes have without necessarily trotting on each other. So like the ranger and the paladin, the monk still gains their archetypes, but they also gain this half-casting progression to be able to learn powers on top of it, as well as the barbarian, fighter, and rogue. Each have their own unique, like the martial trickster here and the Martial Champion, and then we have for Barbarian the Path of Raging Fury. Last episode on Monday, we went through the Path of Raging Fury and built we deconstructed the Ancestral Guardian and then rebuilt it using different martial powers that already existed, and then became inspired to create a couple more as a result of the gaps that we saw that were worth filling. Today we're going to go into the fighter, and we're going to select a random fighter archetype for us to deconstruct and then rebuild using martial powers. So before we go through that process, let's just take a quick crash course here. I've got about I've got an hour, so I'm going to give myself a 20-minute block of time here up front for us to kick through the basic mechanics. This is our 41st episode, so if you've been around for a while, you probably know all this stuff. We've gone over the details, mechanical changes, and the and how these different mechanics all fold together in numerous previous streams inside the Martial Powers playtest playlist. But I'll run through them here again real quick for the new folks. So like, subscribe, and let's check this out. So Martial Powers, it is a half casting progression where at level 1, 5, you can see here the maximum rank of power that you can have or you can gain is 1 at first, 2 at 5, 3 at 9, 4 at 13, and then 5 at 17. There is a power die, kind of like a Bardic Inspiration die or a Battle Master's Maneuver Superiority die that works, or like the Monk's Martial Arts die. They all sort of work the same way with different functions of increasing ability score, like die rolls, D20 die rolls, damage effects, as well as just spending mana to be able to trigger different power effects. And the power effects generally key off of the level of power die that you're using. You start off with a D6, it evolves into a D8, which eventually maxes out as a D10. And the martial power system itself, the mana we have in the DM's documentation down below, you'll see half casters have 40 mana, which we have here represented as a hybrid points, 40 points at level 20. The full casters have 80, well, sorcerer has 100. But like cleric, druid, sorcerer, etc., not sorcerer, wizard, cleric, bard, thank you, bard, they have 80, and then the third casters like fighter and rogue archetypes, eldritch knight and arcane trickster have 20, and there's an entire book dedicated to variant rules for just the eldritch knight and arcane trickster in the bundle link down below. You can look at the full thing, 100% look at the whole thing for you to take a look at, just so you can see how it works. And then of course we also have the calibration over here for key and pack points, the spell point sorcerer, the spell point warlock book that's in that bundle, as well as the elemental key book that's in that bundle, both of which you can read the full documents of, for you can see the mechanics behind that. Those are both short rest resource classes, the monk and the warlock, that have basically the same power budget on a short rest, 1 mana per level, starting at level 1 up through 20 at 20th level. So the martial classes, the fighter, the rogue, the barbarian, they gain their 20 mana on long rests, while the hybrid casters like ranger, paladin, and artificer, they have a long rest mechanic with a total of 40 mana from level 1 to 20 as well. So that's the basic skinnies of how that power system works. Each rank costs 1 mana. So like at 6th level, you have access to second rank powers. A martial class like a fighter would have 6 points on a long rest, and a ranger or a paladin, for instance, would have 12 per long rest. And a second rank power would cost you 2 mana to channel, while first rank power only costs 1 mana to channel. And then the martial classes, like let's look at the fighter. There's various ways that you can gain additional mana, like temporary mana, for you to spend on powers ad hoc as you're performing things. Excuse me. So let's walk through what the fighter offers you up front using the martial champion power type. And then we'll go in, we'll randomly select one of the fighter archetypes, we'll deconstruct it, and then we'll rebuild it and see how well we can rebuild it, and if the holes in our kit design system, if the things that the archetype can do would warrant us looking at potentially developing a power for other classes to use as well, we will do so. Not necessarily, but it depends on what we land with. So we'll see how that goes. So the martial champion, we've walked through this before, but just to kick you guys through it again. Channeling, you can use either strength, dexterity, or intelligence as your channeling ability score, which you can choose. This should be... What is going on? Reconnecting. Huh. Looks like I'm having connection issues. Let's see if this clicks through. There we go. Now we should be clean. There, good. Great. You can choose strength, intelligence, or dexterity as your channeling stat. Typical, channeling DC and your attack bonus. There you go. Mana, starting at first level through 20th level, 1 to 20. Martial powers, you start off with 2. You'll eventually end up with 15 of them. So we'll have a total kit we'll have 15 powers that we can spend on building our kit, as opposed to like the 4 or 5 static abilities that you get from a martial archetype, or like the 6 maneuvers that you get as a battle master, for instance. This blows significantly past that into basically the range of options that the Ranger, Paladin, and Artificer gets. And Eldritch Knight and Arcane Trickster, they get 13 spells that they learn. We have 15. So pretty comparable. Just rounds it out so it's even throughout all the classes. So that's mana, martial powers. Oh, channel vitality. So at 3rd level, when you use Second Wind, you can also regain a number of spent mana equal to your max rank of power gained as a fighter. So at 3rd level, you have access to first rank powers, which means you gain 1 mana back whenever you use your Second Wind, which is refreshed on a short rest. So however many short rests you can take is however much additional mana you'll get beyond the 3 you'd have at 3rd level. That's your first added value right there. And of course, as you gain levels, eventually at 17th level, when you use Second Wind, you get 5 mana back instead of just 1. So it has scaling value aligned with how far you take yourself as a fighter. Empowered strikes, starting at 7th level, when you take the attack action and succeed with an attack roll, you can forego any number of remaining attacks during your action to gain an equal number of temporary mana that you can burn to channel a strike power while rolling damage. For example, at 11th level, an 11th level fighter has 3 attacks. If the first attack succeeds, you can choose to forego the 2 remaining attacks, gaining 2 temporary mana that you can then channel into a strike power. Basically, you're gaining a free 2nd level smite spell, is basically what that means. If you want to skip your 2 extra attacks, you get free mana, so you've hit once. You can then dump mana into that, and you get 2 free mana for the effort. Or you could just take your 3 attacks like normal, or you could make 1 attack, take a point of mana to give yourself a free strike of some sort, like to trip somebody or to paralyze them or something. And then you would still have another attack left over at the end of that if you chose. Then Power Surge at 15th level, when you use Action Surge, you gain 3 temporary points of mana until the end of your turn. The amount of temporary mana gained this way increases to 5 points at 20th level. Any temporary mana remaining at the end of your turn is lost. So when you use Action Surge, you gain 3 points of mana for free for you to use during your turn, and then you lose it. So if you pop Action Surge and then you want to spend those 3 points on, say, sustaining a 3rd rank power, so you can create a new aura buff that you lock onto yourself so that, I don't know, maybe you start healing when you deal damage or something like that. Whatever sustained power it is that you choose. When you click the Action Surge, you gain that mana. Added value for free. At 18th level, when you take the attack action, you forgo any number of attacks to channel maneuvers instead. Normally, a maneuver takes either an action or a bonus action to cast or to channel, as opposed to a strike, which I made an attack, I hit, just like a smite, I would then dump mana into the power to deal additional damage. This, instead, allows you to forgo a number of attacks to instead use maneuvers. These maneuvers in general aren't much more powerful than what attacks themselves would normally be at this level. So it's actually not that, it's actually pretty well balanced. It's just giving you better action economy for you to do the things that you want to do. You can channel maneuvers instead. You can forgo any number of attacks to channel. That's worded poorly. At 18th level, when you take the attack action, you can forgo any number of attacks to channel maneuvers instead. I should probably put like, honestly, that actually is pretty clear cut. Instead of an attack, you use a maneuver. You have to pay for it yourself, and they're expensive, but they're there for you to use. It's an incredible action economy, but you're normally only targeting 1, 2, or maybe 3 things at a time anyway. So it's good value for the level, but it certainly isn't broken. Then you got and then variant class feature, Indomitable Power. Normally when you're using exploits to, like, say, roll, like you spend mana to gain bonuses to, like, say, your saving throw dice. This is saying that when you re-roll a saving throw that you fail, you can also re-roll any of the power dice that you were channeling during that save, in addition to the D20 as added value. So that's the core of it. And then we got a ton of powers that your fighter could choose from. Let's roll down here to see all these 160 some odd powers. 29 exploits that we have. These things like swift tools. If you're using a tool that you can hold in one hand that would normally require an action to use, you can instead use that tool as an object interaction for free once during your round. That'll cost you a point to do that, which can come in handy, but it's pretty niche. Sage knowledge, however, is when you make. Let's scroll back down to where we were. Ugh. Here we were. Let's look at Sage Knowledge. When making an ability check that can use the History, Insight, or Investigation skill, you spend a mana, you can roll a power die. For every mana you spend, you roll an additional power die. And then you add the highest roll to your result. So like say you're 7th level, you're rolling a D6 power die, and your max channel limit is 2. You can take 2 mana to roll 2d6, and whatever the highest of those 2d6 are, like say you roll a 3 and a 5, then you have your d20 plus your ability score modifier, plus if you are skilled and have proficiency in History, Insight, or Investigation, then you get to add your proficiency bonus. And then from the power dice, in this instance a 3 or a 5, you would then add 5 to the final result. So you can stat, like at 17th level, you're rolling a d10, and you can channel 5 mana. If you wanted to spend 5 mana rolling 5 10-sided dice, you could say roll a 1, 2, 3, 4, and 7. Then you would only use the best roll, which in this case is a 7. So you spend 5 mana to roll 5 dice, take the best result, and again, you would add the d20 plus your ability modifier plus your proficiency bonus if you have proficiency in one of those skills, plus the best result of the power die. So there's decreasing returns. If one die rolls a 10, you wouldn't need to roll the other 4 dice, but you had to commit to those dice up front. It's like, this is important enough for me that I'm going to spend 3 mana to roll 3 dice to make sure I get a good roll. Obviously, the more dice you roll, the more likely it is you're going to get something above a 5, creating value for you. But none of this stuff ever outpaces what a Bardic Inspiration die could provide for you, or what a Battlemaster Superiority die could provide for you. We're offering a much broader range of options for you to spend your mana on to be able to do things similar to what other character classes can do. But because of the breadth and verisimilitude of the options that we provide, none of them are outpacing the damage, like the raw damage potential of, say, a Paladin Smite is superior to what we're offering here by like a die. The Bardic Inspiration has D12s in the end as opposed to D10s. Same thing with superiority dice. They roll D12s instead of D10s. So we're offering you more options, but if like you really want to get good at just Battlemaster superiority battle maneuvers, then maybe you just want to play a Battlemaster. So that's an option. We're not trying to replace everything in the game. We're just trying to show an alternate way of expressing all these things. So that's some basic mechanics that we're looking at. let's go through here and actually build something. So we got, how many classes do we got? We got Arcane Archer, Rune Knight, Samurai. What's our full? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, there's 10 archetypes. So let's go to random.org. And let's do let's just do D10. Answer equals 6. Okay, great. So we rolled a 6. So let's see what that is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gunslinger. All right, we're gonna build. We're gonna mock up a gunslinger. So let's use this as our base. We've got this other page here that we can scroll down to the bottom. Again, this playtest document is available for you. Just click on the Patreon link that I have down below. You don't have to be a Patreon to access it. This isn't even the actual document wording. We haven't gone through any edits yet. There's a lot of different ways we're expressing the mechanics of how to do these different powers. It's still, I have an editor, and you hire an editor to make sure that you have consistency and quality. So this is complying with the DMsGuild rules of you can't publish something, you don't even have the ability to copy and paste this stuff. You can only look at it. It's not even the final document. So once the final document is available, you'll be able to read the full thing 100%, cover to cover, just like everything else that I do. So let's take a look at how did we do this? Let's do it like this. And we'll go with fighter. Fighter sample subclass conversion, gunslinger. Now I will say that Heavy Arms has one hell of a gunslinger class that he built that I do not anticipate outperforming at all. He has invested a shitload of time in making a really cool Western flavored, spaghetti Western style gunslinger class. But we're just taking what we have from official, like the Echo Knight isn't something that we have in here specifically, although we have built an alternate Echo feature. Tal'Dorei stuff isn't actually Wizards of the Coast content. So it's not listed on D&D Beyond as you can see here. Echo Knight is not listed. It's because it's not an official Wizards of the Coast class, subclass option. So we're just all we're doing is measuring ourselves against what WotC has actually produced as their gold standard of quality content that they produce. All we have to do is measure our quality against Wizards' quality to be able to be in scale and appropriate power tier, which is bizarre because their shit is like way out of the whack. The more they create products, the more they're skewed because, obviously power creep is a way to sell stuff. Oh well, I'm not going to hold it against them. All systems suffer from it, which is why we always have new editions in the first place, to help reset the bar to a sensible base minimum and then start rebuilding from there. But what we are going to do now is Gunslinger. Oh, this is Critical Role. That's funny. It's funny that the Gunslinger would be here, but the Eldritch Knight, but the Echo Knight isn't. I'm pretty sure I have that. Okay, great. Well, I can't select this one because it's not actually official content. I forgot to get rid of my BS filter. So give me a hot second here. Let's go back to random.org. Let's roll a D9 instead, and we'll get rid of the Gunslinger. 2. Okay, final result now is 2. 2 equals Battle Master. All right, well, it is what it is. That might actually be a lot more complicated than I want to work with, because it has its own list of maneuvers, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, that's okay. Well, we're gonna skip the Battle Master specifically because we built almost all the Battle Master options are inside of our power system. So let's go back to random.org and let's try a D8 instead. Obviously this is not pre-scripted, so enjoy the experience. Like, subscribe, get off of my porch. So we're going to skip Battle Master, we're going to skip Gunslinger, and that leaves us with, okay, Cavalier. That sounds like fun. Let's actually work on the Cavalier. So, Cavalier. Cavalier. Rough start here, folks. Sorry about that. Nama. So, let's go with Born in the Saddle. Born in the Saddle and Unwavering Mark. Let's see how this stuff works. Baga. Go with Born in the Saddle, starting at 3rd level. I can just... Hey, thank you, Timely Timer. Still got 40 minutes. Plenty of time to go. It's 10 minutes per level, so we can figure that out. Oh, bonus proficiencies. We are not gaining bonus proficiencies, though I should check to see. Let's do it this way. What do we gain? We gain, let's see, bonus proficiencies equal... You gain proficiency in one of the following skills. Jeez. Born in the Saddle equals apparent. You have advantage on saving throws made to avoid falling off of your mount. If you fall off your mount and descend no more than 10 feet, you can land on your feet if you're not incapacitated. Finally, mounting and dismounting a creature costs you only 5 feet of movement rather than half your speed. Interesting. Born to the Saddle. I would think I should read Born in the Saddle, but whatever. Comments, paste. You know what? There. Screw you, Ufus. Let's take this. And then Unwavering Mark. Okay, so Born in the Saddle, Fall, Mount, blah. Starting at 3rd level, you menace your foes. Foiling, where's my face? Hey. Foiling their, I'm so blind. Okay, great. Let's see. Starting at 3rd level, you can menace your foes, foiling their attacks and punishing them for harming others. When you hit a creature with a weapon attack, you can mark the creature until the end of your next turn. This effect ends early if you are incapacitated or die, or if someone else marks the creature. When it is within 5 feet of you, a creature marked by you has disadvantage on any attack rolls that doesn't target you. In addition, if a creature marked by you deals damage to anyone other than you, you can make a special melee weapon attack against the marked creature as a bonus action on your next turn. You have advantage on the attack roll, and if it hits, The attack weapon deals extra damage to the target equal to half your fighter level. Regardless of the number of creatures you mark, you can make this special attack a number of times equal to your strength modifier, and you regain all expended uses of it when you finish a long rest. So you get up to 5 per day. That's cool. We're going to grab Unwavering Mark. We're going to drop it into here. We're going to pull that out here. Down here to the document. Oh, let's just finish out the class here real quick just to get this stuff in. Warding maneuver. Just dump these things in here real quick so we can fish them out. Get on with the actual task at hand. Hold the line. I'm pretty sure we have a lot of this stuff already loaded into the power system, so it should be a fairly easy conversion. Like, most of this stuff makes sense to me. Here to here to here to cut and then paste and then first charger. And Vigilant Defender is our last bit. So let's grab that here. Okay, we're finally getting started. I can drop off the D&D Beyond here. We can go back to here. And drop this back in, and now we're here. Okay, great. So, finally on track. Thanks for your patience here, folks. Let's see. Bonus proficiencies. There we go. So let's check our system to see what it does. We got power, we got damage types. We have 5-color mana paradigm, Strixhaven, Theros feats. Crossbow, duelist, keen mind, linguist, poisoner, revenant, severs attack. Dungeon Delver, Fighter Initiate, Keen Mind. What was Keen Mind? D&D Beyond. Keen Mind. You have a mind that can track time, direction, and details on uncanny precision. You gain the following: intelligence. Know which way is north. Instead of learning a power, you can learn a feat. You don't gain any ability score increases from these feats. Feats don't require any mana to use, and when you gain a level, you can replace these feats with different powers selections if you choose. I could swear. Let's go with I don't know if this is a new feat or not. There. I don't honestly know if this exists someplace or not, but it certainly should, and if it does, it should be at first level. So we're going to just go ahead and assume that's here. Learn 2 skills of your choice, or 2 skills or languages. So let's look at our kit. Conversion. There, it takes care of that. And then power conversion. Starting at third level, your mastery as a rider becomes apparent. You have the advantage on saving throws made to avoid falling off your mount. If you fall off your mount and descend no more than 10 feet, you can land on your feet if not incapacitated. Finally, mounting or dismounting a creature costs you only 5 feet of movement rather than half your speed. Might not be a direct conversion to that, but there's certainly some things we can pick up that makes it similar. So let's go ahead and kick up here to, I think it's exploits. Let's see. Ground fighting, natural resilience, swift tools, tactical. No, it's going to be a reaction. Controlled fall. There you go. As a reaction to falling, including off of a horse, you can land on your feet instead of prone. Check. And reduce the damage taken by 10 feet times your proficiency bonus, which is 20 feet at second level. So this is controlled fall. There. So that takes care of the falling off the horse. Advantages on saving throws. Let's see what we have out here that grants us, as a reaction to running one more power die, second chance. As a reaction to when you roll an ability check or a saving throw, but before you know the check has succeeded, you can re-roll. It's not quite what we want. Maybe there's maybe exploit up here has a saving throw modifier. Let's see. Resilience. When you make a saving throw, you can roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest result to your result. Adding the highest roll to your results. That's not bad. Natural Hunter. Certainly. Swift Tools. Cooperative Effort. But power. I would say Resilience is our closest. That is. It's going to get really good over time. So, 3. Resilience. Exploit 1. Equals. When making a saving throw, you can roll 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest result to your result. Highest roll your result. Okay, great. What else we got? Finally, mounting or dismounting a creature costs you only 5 feet of movement rather than half your speed. Is that enough of a something for us to build a new power out of? It's super niche. It's only 5 feet. It's for mounting and dismounting. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that's not worth a full power onto itself. But I do think it's worth noting that I could potentially build something out of that. As a sustained power. I kind of like the idea of building out something. So let's kick down here. Actually, let's go back up into the list here. Let's go to the other page that we're working on down here. Let's go up here because this is where we're looking at new powers that we're floating around with. So we're going to just leave that. We're going to leave that getting in and out of the saddle thing by itself. Unwavering mark. Starting at, because again, we're not trying to completely duplicate all the archetypes. We're just trying to see what exists inside of the power system that can approximate it. And is there such a gap that it would warrant us creating a new power? So we're already contemplating a Cavalier style Born to the Saddle. Shit, we might even call it Born to the Saddle or Trained in the Saddle or something like that. Or At Home in the Saddle. Who knows? We might flesh that out. If there's like 3 bullet points of stuff other than this that's worth fleshing out. I mean, these are 3 points here, but I think we can probably do better. Like I wouldn't spend a power on this unless I had a super like a Mongol horse, right? Like a horseman horse raiding, horde type of campaign. It's awfully specific, so I don't think there's enough there to really warrant that. So let's just skip it for now. Let's go down to one unwavering mark, which will be still using first rank powers only because we are not 5th level yet when we gain this. So let's see what it does. You can menace your foes, foiling their attacks and punishing them for harming others. When you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack, you can mark that creature until the end of the next turn. This effect ends early, blah. While it is within 5 feet of you, a creature marked by you has disadvantage on any attack roll that doesn't target you. So we'll stop there. Let's go. I know we have a strike that's going to work with that. Let's look at what it is. I think it's like Goading Strike. There it is. Your weapon deals, your weapon damage increases by 1 power die per mana burned. The creature you strike has disadvantage on any attack made that doesn't target you. The creature can attempt to end this effect at the beginning of each of its turns by succeeding an intelligence saving throw. So again, this is not, you get, using this, you get a total of, you have up to 5 of these because your strength modifier, say 20 is plus 5. So you get a total of 5 per long rest using this system. Instead, we're going to use Goading Strike, which would allow you to potentially use it. Once you gain that 7th level feature, you can use it unlimited number of times, but it's eating up your attacks to do it. But it's a super great attack to do it with. So I think this is value added here. And it's something that you can keep with you. Strike 1. Your entire career. So I think that's a good one. Let's go with, where were we at? Power conversions. Creature can attempt to end its effect. Disadvantage if it doesn't attack you. What else does this thing do? In addition, if the creature marked by you deals damage to anyone other than you, you can make a special melee weapon attack against the marked creature as a bonus action on your next turn. On your next turn. You can make a special melee weapon. Okay, so in addition, if a creature marked by you deals damage to anyone other than you, you can make a special melee weapon attack against that marked creature as a bonus action on your next turn. You have advantage on the attack rolls, and if it hits, the attack's weapon deals extra damage to the target equal to half your fighter level. Oh, it's a bonus action to attack. Okay, bonus attack. Conditional bonus attack. So actually what we want to do is let's go down into, let's see where maneuvers sit. Reactions, maneuvers, maneuver. Bonus attack. Make an attack with a weapon you're holding. There you go. Unconditional use. And you can use, it's not perfect, maneuver 1. It's not a perfect conversion. And we already have the extra damage because when you do the bonus attack as a make an attack with a weapon, so maneuvers can be used as either actions or bonus actions. If you're going to use an action, it doesn't cost you anything to make an attack. And at level 5+, you get 2 attacks with that action. So it only makes sense that you would make a bonus attack with the bonus action in this instance, but not necessarily. When you attack with a weapon, make an attack with a weapon you're holding. There you go. Pretty straightforward. You already have the goading strike to deal additional damage, so you could spend... yeah, there you go. Let's see. Hey! Let's see what else we got. Goes the number of creatures you mark. You can make a special attack. That's sufficient. And by... Let's look again. Your third level. By fourth level, you have 5 powers that you can spend. And we've spent 5 powers so far. So third level, this is what you would have racked up. At 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But by fourth level, you are on par with what you should have there. A little less options than what the Cavalier has, but a lot more options. A lot of different options. So about the same, but different. Let's see, warding maneuver. So this is going to allow us warding maneuver to use up to second rank powers. So 7th level, you learn to fend off strikes directed at you, your mount, and other creatures nearby. If you or a creature you can see within 5 feet of you is hit by an attack, you can roll a d8 as a reaction. If you're wielding a melee weapon or a shield, roll the die and add the number rolled to the target's armor class against that attack. If the attack still hits, the target has resistance against the attacker's damage. If the attack... That's pretty cool. If the attack still hits, you have resistance. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your con modifier, up to 5. And you regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So 5 per day at most. So, let's see what reactions we may have that will line up with what we're trying to achieve there. Deflection as a reaction to when you or an ally within reach of your weapon attack are hit by when you or an ally within reach of your weapon attack, of a melee weapon attack, are hit by an attack roll from a source you can see. The attack is re-rolled, taking the new result, and the re-roll can't score a critical hit. It's actually a pretty good. That's actually pretty damn good. So let's take deflection. It's because it only costs us 1 mana, and it's a damn good thing to have, regardless. So we'll go ahead and mark that down as. That's really, really good. I think we have another. thing in here we can use. Interpose. As a reaction to when an adjacent ally takes damage from a source you can see, you can take any portion of the damage and gain resistance to it. It's not quite the same as giving your ally resistance, but it's not bad. As a reaction to a source you can see targeting you with an attack, you can create a momentary translucent barrier, granting you full cover against the attack, causing the attack to automatically miss unless it ignores cover. Wow, that's really good. That's so good, I might make that 3rd rank. Now I'm looking at it. 3rd rank has 1, 2, 3. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. God, I think Defense Barrier can afford to be a 3rd rank power, honestly. That'll be 9th level. Full cover. God, that's it's a reaction. That's pretty damn good. Let's see what else we got down here. Lightning, Fortitude, Iron Will, Second Chance. As a reaction to when you roll an ability check or a saving throw, but before you know the check has succeeded, you can re-roll, keeping the better result. As a reaction to when you roll an ability check or a saving throw, but before you know if the check has succeeded, you can re-roll, keeping the better result. That's a reaction. Yeah, that as a reaction to failing a Strength or Constitution saving throw, reroll. As a reaction to failing a Strength or Constitution saving throw. And that costs 2, as opposed to Second Chance as a reaction to when you roll an ability check or a saving throw, but before you know the check has succeeded. As a result, I feel like these need to be swapped. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. As a reaction to failing a saving throw. God, I like that. Yeah, I really feel like that's too expensive for just a single die roll. I'm going to drop these down into E, F, G. I think I'm okay with second chance being. M in 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that feels right. Okay, so let's see. Where are we? Goading Strike. Resilient. When you make a saving throw, you can roll one power die. When making a saving throw, you can roll one power die. That's an exploit. Adding the highest result to your roll. Reroll the d20 because you could potentially be rolling power dice along with this. So if you're re-rolling, I don't want you re-rolling your power dice along with this for lightning effects for a single number, because you have second chance. Sorry, one's own luck. You have one's own luck, which costs you 2, which allows you to re-roll power dice as a reaction. So those two things can't stack together because you only have one reaction. But this is too inexpensive to allow for the power dice that you might have from the exploit that we have that allows you to add power dice. I don't want you rolling power dice and the d20 again, so I need to specify re-roll the d20 and take the better results. There you go. Locking down language. This was a good move. This is a very good move. Okay, but what we were looking at was resilient and... No, we were down here. Bonus attack. And we wanted to look at, regardless of the number of saving throws, deflection. We already picked up deflection. Right? Yeah, got deflection already. Now we're looking at what else do we want? Feint, no. Interpose. Ooh. Yeah. Interpose is a good one. We're gonna take interpose anyway. That's very Cavalier. Come on, Jeremy, do it right. Interpose is first rank also. And I think that fleshes it out. Hold the line equals conversion. Let's see, 10th level. You become a master of locking down your enemies. Creatures provoke an opportunity attack from you when they move 5 feet or more while within your reach. And if you hit a creature with an opportunity attack, the target's speed is reduced to 0 until the end of the current turn. So I know we got things to replace that with. We have a reaction. Hold the line is when creatures move, you hit them. So let's go find feint, interpose, punish. It's reaction to an enemy you can see within range of a weapon attack misses. No. Second chance, no. Meticulous effort, moving target. As a reaction to when a creature you can see moves while within reach of your melee attack, you can make an opportunity attack, even if the target is using the disengage action, rolling one power die, adding the highest result to the attack roll. Holy crap, that's great. So let's go ahead and potentially, this is supposed to say potentially, you fail an ability check, rolling one power. Meticulous effort as a reaction to when you fail an ability check. This is also ability check. Add ability. Okay, I don't think I need meticulous effort, honestly. Maybe it's second chance that we don't need. Well, we want moving target. That's for damn sure. Moving target, reaction 2. So this will cost you 2 mana to use. But it's unavoidable opportunity attack. That's pretty good. And on top of that, hold on. Before we move too far along, I want to look at this meticulous effort versus second chance. An ability check or saving throw. That's good. I think that's where we were trying to get to. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, cool. Let's go to the strikes, and let's look at what strike we have. We want something that's gonna lock. What are these? These are still maneuver. These are still reactions. I want strikes. Thank you. Strikes. Reduce speed to 0. Right? Is that what we're trying to do? Reduce to 0. So we want to reduce people's speed to 0. Poisoning strike, sonic strike, goading strike, grappling strike, freezing strike, ensnaring. Ooh. Your damage increases by 1 power die per mana. The creature is restrained until it succeeds a strength save at the beginning of its next turn. That's pretty damn good. Let's look at ensnare. Let's look what that does. Hold on real fast. Let's look at restrained. So let's look at 5e restrained condition. This might be what we need. Strain becomes 0. Advantage to attack, they have disadvantage. Creature has disadvantage on... Jeez, that's actually really, really good. So we need to... That's honestly too much value. What is 5e ensnaring strike? What does that actually do? I think it's a second level spell, right? Is it second? It's first. Oh my god. Next time you hit a creature with a spell attack before the spell ends, a writhing mass of flowing vines, blah blah blah, large of the creature, advantage on saving throw. If the target succeeds on the save, unsure way. While restrained by this spell, the target takes d6 piercing damage at start. Is freed. Wow, okay. Well, restraint is apparently it's first level. So we'll keep it at first level, and we're going to add restraining. We'll add ensnaring strike. Man, that's value. Hold on, where are we at? Here. We should actually change that tile to Restraining Strike. So it isn't confused for the actual Spell Ensnaring Strike, which I don't want to confuse people with. So we should go with Restraining Strike. Perfect. Nice. So as your reaction, moving target, you can hit them, and then you could use Restraining Strike on top of it to deal extra damage and to prevent them from being able to move again until they succeed in a strength saving throw. Doing extra damage in the process. It costs you 3 mana to do it, but at 7th level, you can help start mitigating that cost through Second Wind and Action Surge. Let's look at Ferocious Charger. This might be the most difficult for us to translate. Let's see how we do. Starting at 15th level, you can run down your foes whether you're mounted or not. If you move at least 10 feet in a straight line right before attacking a creature and you hit it with an attack, that creature must succeed on a strength saving throw or be knocked prone. You can use this feature only once on each of your turns. Nope, we're going to go with Tripping Strike. When you use this strike, you can knock a creature up to one size larger than you or smaller prone. The target must make a strength saving throw or prone. When you use the strike power, you can knock a creature up to one size larger than you or smaller prone. The target makes a strength saving throw. Does this target make a strength saving? Yeah. When you use this strike power, you can knock a creature up to the size. The target makes a saving throw to prevent this. And you can add 1 power die per mana burned to the DC. And you can add 1 power die per mana burned. Wow. You can add 1 power die per mana. That's really fierce. Okay, great. So we will take that. We'll drop it here. Tripping Strike is strike 1. What else we got? Ooh, a charge might actually be a great one to use as well, just to have it. You don't have to make any additional movement to use that, but we do have a charge function. Let's go ahead and look at that as an exploit, I believe. Charge. When you move 10 feet or more towards an enemy, this movement doesn't provoke an attack of opportunity, and you can roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to the first attack targeting that enemy. So yeah, we'll just take charge for the fun of it, just because we can. 11 charge. Exploit 1 equals, and that resolves Ferocious Charger. We still have 4 powers left and 1 level to deal with it, so we might have some freebie leftovers to play with. 12. Starting at 18th level, you respond to danger with extraordinary vigilance. In combat, you get a special reaction that you can take once on every creature's on. Wow. You gain a special reaction that you can take once on every creature's turn except for your own. You can use this special reaction only to make an opportunity attack, and you can't use it on the same turn that you make a normal reaction. Holy crap. That's super good. We have something for that. Hold on. It's a new power. that we developed. Let's get down into there. Yeah. Magic paradigms, get past the DM stuff. Reactive combat. Sustain 2. While sustaining is power, when you take the attack action, you can forgo any number of attacks during your turn to gain an equal number -1 of additional reactions that can be used to make 1 attack each. Limited to 1 per creature's turn before your next turn. All right, that puts us at our hour. Holy crap. This obviously is not nearly as good as the, what is it? Vigilant Defender. So at 18th level, you respond to danger with extraordinary vigilance. In combat, you gain a special reaction that you can take once on every creature's turn except your turn. You can use a special reaction only to make an opportunity attack, and you can't use it on the same turn that you take your normal reaction. So they have to be able to provoke an opportunity attack for you to use it, but you can use it against any number of creatures. That's super good. Reactive combat. Flow of battle. Punishing presence. Let's go with when yeah, I'm just going to leave this be. I'm content with reactive combat. It doesn't actually have to be a melee weapon that you're dealing. This is so much coming down. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. That leaves us. I'm gonna flesh out the rest of this list real quick. Freebies. How are we listing our leftover list? There we go. Ruminant powers. What's some other cool shit we want to toss in on here? Let's go back up to our sustained powers and see what we have that we might want to throw on a Cavalier type character. Damage type. Is there any particular damage type that we want? Not necessarily. Not necessarily looking for special damage types. What about Sentinel could very well take care of the 0 movement as an opportunity attack. That's not a bad idea. Let's see if there's anything more creative we can use. Let's see, because we can already pick up a bunch of feats just by gaining feats normally as a fighter, so we don't necessarily have to dip into any of these. We don't necessarily need any unique damage types, though they're always useful, but not necessary for the build or the... I mean, we could always grab one if we wanted to. We only have 3 spare, so we actually used up a lot of our budget creating this alternate. So let's see. Let's go with Impervious. That sounds like a... While sustaining this power, you gain resistance to all damage and attacks can't score critical hits. That is a 4 mana sustained power, so that eats up a ton of your budget to be able to maintain concentration on that. Let's see what other fun stuff there might be in here. Haste is always cool. Giant growth is certainly, while sustaining his power, attack rolls against you are made with disadvantage. While sustaining his power. Daunting Presence, that's actually pretty cool. Let's go with Daunting Presence. I like that one. Sustain 3. Like, you can't use Impervious and Daunting Presence at the same time because you have a max channel limit of 5. So you can't, that would be over, that would be far over budget. Sustain 3. I like that idea, though. It just feels right. Strange Metabolism, Omnilinguist, Castigation, Channelist Power. Choose a creature you can see. Always no restriction. Vigilance. While this power is sustained, any hostile creature you can see that begins its turn or enters within 10 feet of you takes 1 power die weapon damage for each mana sustaining Vigilance. It's a pretty good one. Close quarter combat's pretty good, but that's grappling. This isn't really a grappling build. Let's see if there's another. Is there another strike we actually want? Rogue Stance to be able to dash, disengage, or dodge as a bonus action ain't bad. Crossing Status, Power Shield. You create a defensive shield of power that can be wielded as a shield that you are proficient with. The shield hovers in your space to protect you, leaving your hands free. God, that's super useful. The bonus to your armor class gained from the shield is equal to your proficiency bonus. You can benefit from only 1 shield at a time. So it starts at 2 and ends up at 5. That's pretty damn good value. Crouching Stance, no. Paralyzing Strike, Banishing Strike, Stunning Strike. I mean, these are all just good. Intimidating Strike, your damage increases by 1 power die per mana burn, and the creature is frightened of you until it loses line of sight with you or you are incapacitated. The creature can attempt to end this effect at the end of each of its turns by succeeding a Wisdom saving throw. Jeez, Intimidating Strike's pretty damn good. Let's go with that one. That feels like the general Cavalier vibe, you know? Intimidating Strike. That is strike 2. And there we go, guys. Okay, so again, if you check in the Patreon link down in the description down below, this playtest content is available for you to look at. If you have an alternate list, if you build a different kit of powers to kind of fake a Cavalier, you are most invited to create your own list, and I'd love for you to drop it in the comments below. Just 1 through 15, how would you stack out your powers? Or if you know where I'm at on Twitter, go ahead and stack out your powers. Honestly, Twitter wouldn't allow you to have the 250 character limit, but if you know where I'm at on Discord, you can certainly offer your own list of powers there to create your own Cavalier kit as well. But for the most part, I'm pretty happy with this. I mean, you have a lot more flexibility. Some things you can do a lot more often than what the Cavalier would allow. Some of them the Cavalier allows unlimited use of, so you wouldn't have as much use of. You've got a lot more ability to intimidate people, to prevent damage, to protect your allies. The only thing that we're really missing is the Born to Saddle feature of allowing you to jump onto and off of a horse more quickly. But I mean, that's a pretty minimal thing. That's more of a ribbon feature than anything else because it doesn't really impact game a lot if you're staying on your horse. But I'm pretty happy with this. So cheers. That's it for today. So we're going to we'll plug into this again, and when we come back next week, we're going to just grab a random rogue class archetype and see what we can do to build that out into its own kit of abilities. But hopefully this is demonstrating some of the flexibility and options that are available for characters through the martial power system. Again, every level you can switch out any number of powers that you know. So you could be like a fakey Cavalier this level, but like next level maybe you want to be like a fakey Ancestral Guardian, but you're a rogue. You could use this kit with Rogue, you could use this kit with Barbarian, you could use this kit with Ranger, Paladin, the Warlock, and the Artificer. Using invocations and infusions don't have the bandwidth to be able to take a full kit like this, but they could pick and choose from them if they wanted to. But yeah, like I said, we're not attempting to replace any of the archetypes because people should still want to have variety, and specialized archetypes should certainly have their own value. But we're, again, just trying to build out a system here where we can expend mana to be able to replace the powers that are available at a reasonable budget and have things that we can build into the system to, like, say, you know, like we were looking at 7th level, you would be able to use Intimidating Strike. Like at 11th level, an Intimidating Strike, you could use it for free. You get 3 attacks per action. You could, if you hit with your first attack, you could then use Intimidating Strike for free. So you have effectively unlimited Intimidating Strikes if you wanted them. When you're using Action Surge or Second Wind, you're gaining bonus mana. So you could take, say, you could use Moving Target, or you could use Interpose or Deflection far more than 20 times because you're able to you're able to use your fighter class features to gain more mana for you to then spend. So I love this thing, man. I hope this is interesting to you, and I hope that it is it's creating ideas that you'd want to play with. It's certainly fun to kit bash with it, and have that sort of 3E tinkering of like, what kind of a character do I want to build? You could curve this out into multi-classing to have like a super awesome Gish that's using the mana point system to like pick up a slew of spells, as well as seeding a number of powers inside of those spells to work alongside them. Whew, man, this is fun stuff. These are just sample ideas. So hey, if this was cool to you and you're looking forward to seeing more of this, I'll be back doing this for the Rogue next week, just taking a Rogue archetype and rebuilding it into this kit of powers. But every Monday for the past 40 some odd weeks, we've been adding powers, tinkering with where they're at, futzing with the power balance, the level like we were doing a little bit here, as well as proofing out how this stuff is going to work overall, multi-class together, and not step on each other's feet. So it'll be out on DMsGuild some point, I suspect by the end of this month or into February, we're going to complete the first manuscript and send it off to our editor to start chewing on, and then we should be able to get that back probably by April. The Spelljammer Combat and Exploration book that we had done cartography for this morning, and the Eberron Adventure Crystals of Mabar for 8th level, which we will be doing cartography this evening for. Both of those should be done probably. I suspect we're going to get the edit drafts for those done by January or sometime in February. And then hopefully both of those books are going to be publishing by April, May. And then this will be the only project on our plate coming back to us by April at some point. We'll be able to drop this into layouts, flesh out all the pages, and then just start making artwork here on the stream, and then publish it online. And then that link that we have to my Patreon will just lead you directly to the product on DMsGuild, which you'll be able to read the entire thing, the cover. Like everything else that I have, you can check the DMsGuild link that I have in the description down below for you to see the kind of work that I do and how this would be able to work alongside that mana system. Thanks a lot for being here. I'm going to go ahead and check out, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you guys. I'll be back on in about 6-ish hours to work on more Eberron cartography tonight. So if you're into map making, you like coloring and stuff like that, swing by, say hi. In the meantime, like, subscribe, watch some hours of content, check my different playlists to see the kind of things that we're developing here. I need to hit 4,000 hours of content viewed, and I need 1,000 subscribers for YouTube to start monetizing me. I don't expect it to be fast and easy, but the tribe that we build hopefully are people that are really interested in this stuff, because we've got years of stuff to build. So from now through 2025 and beyond, we're building out tools for people to play. So looking forward to hanging out with you guys some more. See you later.